AITA for not asking my ex for help when my daughter had her period. #EDITI do not in any way, shape, or form limit contact or communication between my ex and our kids. My ex-wife works out of town. She works for 2 weeks and then gets a week off. I used to do that schedule as well, but I now work from home as a maintenance planner. When we divorced, I got primary custody of our daughter and son since I was the one available to do the parenting. I have very little interest in discussing anything with my ex. Yes, there is a lot of bitterness and recrimination in our relationship. I loved my ex with all my heart. And while I always thought she was beautiful, it wasn't as easy for other people to see. However, when you are one of a dozen women in a 2,000-man work camp, you get a lot of attention. That's all I'm going to say about that. My daughter is 10-year-old and she just got her first period. I grew up with sisters and I am not a complete idiot, so I had read up on what to do. I had also talked to my mom and sisters about it. I had been prepared since she was 8. I gave her the boxes of pads and tampons. I explained to her that it was normal and healthy. I watched a video with her that was a tutorial on what to do. I also asked her if she would like to talk to either my sister or the woman I'm seeing about how to do everything right. She said that she understood and would like to talk to my sister on the weekend. After dinner on Saturday, my sister talked to me about it. She said that I had gotten the basics correct and there were only a couple of things she needed to explain or correct. My ex called to talk to the kids yesterday and afterwards yelled at me on the phone. She called me an asshole for excluding her from a milestone in her daughter's life. I asked her if it had happened during her week with the kids, if she would have told me about it. She said that wasn't the point. It was a mother-daughter thing and that I took it away from her. I said it was a parent-kid medical issue and that made it a me thing. I am a man, so maybe I just don't get it. AITA? NTA. You handled the situation very well and managed to teach your daughter everything she needed to know, as well as redirecting her to people who could also advise her. I don't see the need for you to have immediately gone to tell your ex about her first period, especially considering that it was already happening. Although it might have been nice if you told her after you figured it out. Anyway, well done. NTA. It's a natural and normal part of your daughter's life. You are her parent and guardian. Your daughter can decide to share that info or not. You did absolutely nothing wrong tending to her immediate needs. NTA. And it's really weird to make it a teary-eyed mummy-daughter moment. No, it's not buying a wedding dress or going to a graduation. It's bleeding an owie and reassurance. You did fine. NTA. Sounds like you covered everything and her older sister filled in the blanks. Contrary to other comments, this is your daughter's personal business and she gets to decide with whom she shares this news. NTA. You were parenting your daughter. While it is true that it is usually the mother who deals with their daughter's period education, it shouldn't have to be. And since you are the custodial parent and she got her period while with you, you did what you needed to. And you made sure your daughter also had a woman to talk to for any questions. In an ideal world, you would have notified your ex about it. But in an ideal world, she wouldn't be an ex and you wouldn't be parenting separately. Her actions stem from her jealousy on missing a milestone. But that is a her problem and not a you problem. And your daughter cannot schedule all of her female development to only happen when she is with her mother. NTA. You didn't keep your daughter from calling her mother, right? NTA. You handled it well, all things considered. However, it's not really a medical issue, more a bodily function. Kudos on deciding to educate yourself and not getting all grossed out. Most guys would run screaming. TBH. Next up, if you haven't already, is to notify her doctor. She is rather young for it, but it happens. I say NTA purely based on what you listed your daughter's reaction was. If she asked to talk to her mom and you said no, then you would be the but she asked to talk to your sister. If that's true, that's what your daughter wanted. Now if she asked for her mom, or if you made it feel like she couldn't reach out to her mom, then you'd be the again. Though according to the info provided, that didn't happen, and she was happy to talk to your sister, who seemed pretty helpful, and also graceful about how you did with things. It's your daughter's event. It's your daughter's choice. Her body. Her choice. You were the one there. And then you gave your daughter the choice on who else to consult. Seems fair to me. Though when I say fair, I mean fair to your daughter. Who is the person that matters the most in this equation? NTA, you did your research and didn't necessarily need to ask your ex for help on this one. The main thing is that your daughter got the help and support she needed. Info. Did you not tell your ex because you wanted to punish her or because you forgot? I think therein lies your answer. NTA. 1. Your daughter is old enough to have asked for mom if she wanted to. Clearly mom had never broached the subject with her. Point 2. Your ex could have asked in advance that when the day comes she wants to be informed. You and ex. I'm glad you had educated yourself in preparation for this event. Sounds like you did a good job with it. As a co-parent, you have an obligation to inform the other parent about things like this. Don't leave it on your daughter to have to tell her mom. It's not her responsibility to be the go-between just because you don't like talking to ex. Ex needs to be able to make sure she has age-appropriate products available at her place. Your statement that it was a parent-kid medical issue and therefore a you thing is leaving out that ex is also a parent. She has the right to be included in medical things. One would hope that if it had happened at your ex's place that yes, she would have told you, so that you could have age-appropriate products available at your place. And also so that your daughter doesn't have to be the go-between. So ex is an for not saying that. It's beside the point. No, it is the point. Like her or not, you and ex are co-parents. That means that it is on you to share information the other parent should have. Anything involving a medical issue. And yes, starting menstruation is a medical issue, is required to be shared with the other parent. So suck it up and COPARENT. NTA. It was a mother-daughter thing and that I took it away from her. I hated my mother making my first period a milestone for her. It would have been much more useful if I had been given a talk about what to expect and the various products than the squealing of, "You're a woman now." Your daughter was in your care when she started her period. Providing her with the necessary hygiene products and information was the appropriate thing to do. If your daughter didn't feel comfortable calling her own mother, that says a lot about your ex. It's her responsibility to cultivate a loving, supportive relationship with her own kid, not demand you withhold information and care from your kid so she can be the one true source. Frankly, the notion that a father would immediately distance himself from any menstruation related topics feeds more into the idea that periods are somehow shameful or to be kept secret, which is nonsense. I am deeply curious about what you got wrong, though. Tears of joy. NTA. If your daughter had wanted to talk to her about it, I'm sure she would have asked for that instead of her aunt. I spoke to my sister and my mom only found out a day or two later. Let your daughter make the decision who she goes to for advice on that. Because it's her body. She told her mom when she felt the time was right. Well, you ask your daughter if she wanted to talk to your sister or partner. It would have been reasonable to include her mother in that list. So she had that option, and while I think it should have been your daughter's choice, It would have been nice if you had asked your daughter if it was okay for you to let her mother know, not ta for having prepared and supported your child. But it is in her interests that you are civil to her mother and don't create or encourage hostility, or put your kid in the middle of awkward situations. And a quick text or call to her to let her know would have been appropriate and could have avoided the row, and would have cost you nothing. Also, I think it is a bit different from most medical stuff, but equally, most medical things are going to be things that it would be reasonable for you to keep her mother informed about. So on balance, Ash, your ex for making it all about her, and you for not considering that she might want to know and that telling her would make life easier for your daughter by limiting conflict that she is exposed to. Slight YTA. Some of your comments keep pressing upon the issue that the mom was so many miles away. Yes, your daughter could have contacted her mother, but the way you speak about the mother makes me think the daughter did not want to contact her because of how you react to the mom. I mean, I get it. Horrible ending to the marriage, etc. But that is still her mother. Do you speak ill of the mom in front of your children? Could be why she did not want to reach out. You did what you could. You did well as a dad, but I think you still should have let your ex know. NTA. It would have perhaps been nice to FYI her, but you haven't done anything wrong. NTA. Your ex is just bitter that she is not the parent your kid feels more comfortable with. You did good. Pretty sure your kid didn't really want the whole planet celebrating the event, so keeping it low-key was the way to go. Also, mother-daughter thing. Lol. Seems to me like it's equally a daughter-father thing. And saying as you got primary custody, of course she is going to confide in your NTA. Sounds like you offered her good support and info and her needs were met. NTA. Assuming the daughter can freely text or call her mom as is the norm, your only responsibility was to let mom know sometime in advance of her next parenting time so she can be prepared. Emo. While I can sort of get her reaction on a primitive level, it isn't mom's first period to own. What were you supposed to dodle the kid to call her mom so she wouldn't feel excluded from her bodily functions?
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. AmITheAsshole is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.